Fall is just around the corner and I wanted to create some quick and easy DIY projects for my home decor. Hey there, it's Donna. Welcome to my channel. I've recently found this cute little decor piece at Dollar Tree. It's kind of like a faux rolling pin. I'm going to be covering it up with some pretty scrapbook paper, and I also have these beautiful stickers and rub-on transfers that I got from Dollar Tree as well. I am just going to be covering up the back side of this faux rolling pin. So if I want, I can use the front still where it says falling leaves. I placed it down on the back side of my scrapbook paper and I'm going to trace it out using my pencil. I made sure that I lined up the edges of the piece right up against the edge of the paper. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut it out. Of course, you could use a ruler and craft knife as well as a paper trimmer to cut this out. I'm going to be using some tacky glue to apply it to the back side of this rolling pin, and so I'm just going to apply some of that. I'm not applying too much because I don't want my paper to bubble. I'm using a plastic card to smooth it out, and then I'm going to use my finger and smooth it all out right up against the edge because I needed full coverage. Put my paper in place, and then I'm going to flip it upside down, and I always like to add a little bit of weight to it to help it to adhere really well. Once the glue has dried, I decided to remove this little bow, but of course you could leave that or add more. I am now going to take some distress ink and I'm applying it to the edge using a makeup sponge, and then I'm going to smooth it out. And you've got a bit of a playtime with this particular ink, so that's why I really like to use it. And I love the look that it creates. It just creates a bit more of a rustic, grungy look to it. So I allowed the ink to dry a little bit, and now I'm going to use these beautiful stickers. They're brand new this year to Dollar Tree. At least they're brand new to me. I'm not sure if they were around last year. I know these rub-on transfers were from last year. I don't know if they have them this year or not. If you know, please leave a comment down below to let us all know. I just wanted to use this little piece that says Hello Fall, and now I'm going to decide on which stickers I want to use. I know Dollar Tree has lots of other stickers. They have some cute little gnome fall stickers and some other ones that I've seen. That would be a really cute touch on here as well. I always like to cut my stickers out, and that way here I can kind of play around with the placement of these. And then when I'm kind of deciding on where I want them, I'll remove them off of the backing, but I won't press it down so it sticks hard firmly onto the surface of the paper. I also cut out a cute little white flat pumpkin. Most of these have got like a 3D look to it, which is really pretty, and I'll be using that as well. So I'm going to start to put everything into place. I really like this that says Hello Autumn. I thought it would be really cute on here. So it's a rub-on transfer. So I use just my bone folder to rub that on. Of course, you can use a craft stick. Now to add the other little sticker here, this is where I decided to add a little white pumpkin sticker to the back side of it, just to help balance it out because the other sticker has a little white pumpkin on it as well. So I'm going to just put that into place, and then you are ready to put that on display. Really quick and easy project. I purchased some faux florals both from Dollar Tree as well as Michael's, and I got them all on these ones from Michael's on sale. They were buy one, get one free, which is always an awesome deal. So what I'm going to do is use this wire hoop wreath that I picked up from Dollar Tree, but I wanted to first just cut my stems down. So I'm just using my wire snips and I'm going to cut these stems down, and I am going to try and put this together so then if I decide I want to take this apart, all these branches are still usable. So I've got all my stems all cut down. I'm going to start with my eucalyptus, and these little eucalyptus leaves are movable. So I push them up just to create a more tighter look to the leaves. And then I'm not trimming my stems down. I'm just going to gather them in the middle and create a bit of a swag. And so what you want to do is work on one side and then the other until you get kind of a balanced look that you like. So I decided not to cut my stems down, and believe it or not, you won't even see those stems that you didn't cut. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to be able to reuse these. A lot of times I get kind of tired of some of these things over the years, and so I want the ability to take this apart if I want. So I'm just going to start to, of course, like I said, layer everything up. And as I was working with this, some of the leaves I kind of moved as needed and just working back and forth from one side to the next until I get a really, really pretty look that I like. I bend the wires as needed to get the look that I'm going for. And you can add some real grasses, like dried grasses or branches. But I was finding as I was working with this, it was actually getting really, really full. So I didn't bother to add all of that. But of course you can. And if you want, you can glue this all together. You could also use a piece of floral foam in the center of your wire foam. I'm just, like I said, trying to keep this really easy and trying to make it so I can reuse it. I have to say that fall is actually one of my favorite times to decorate, along with Christmas time. I just love the coziness of it. Which is your favorite season to decorate for? I'm really curious to know. So I'm really loving how this is all coming together. So now I'm just going to take a piece of jute twine and I'm going to wrap it around several times in the middle of my swag. And that'll help to keep everything together. I'm going to tie a really tight knot. And then I'm going to actually tie this onto the frame, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. I'm just going to straighten things out a little bit and bend things. So here I am going to just bend things around a little bit, and then I'm going to flip my wreath and swag upside down. And then I'm going to tie the string directly onto the wreath form. Now it is going to be wobbly still, but what I decided to do was, of course, trim off any of the excess string. But I've got this really thin florist wire. You can get florist wire online from Michael's. I've even seen it at dollar stores. I actually usually pick mine up from a dollar store. But I wrapped it around some of the eucalyptus and other stems, twisted it, and now I'm just going to continue to wrap it around the wreath form along with the greenery, and I'm pulling really tight. This will help to secure this swag onto the wreath form. And then I'm going to just tie it off tight, trim off any of the excess wire and twine. And now I'm going to go in and add some hot glue, and I'm going to go over top of the wire and the jute string. And that is going to help to set it all up, and you'll see it doesn't even move around anymore. I was actually really impressed. So if you can think of another way, please feel free to share that down in the comment section. All right, so now I'm gonna add some raffia. I decided to go with the raffia because I liked the way it looked with those sunflowers. Just created a simple loopy bow with some tails and just wired it in the middle. And then I'm wiring it onto the wreath form. Again, of course, you could use some hot glue to attach it as well, but I'm just using the wire because I wanted, again, this to be removable. But this was really easy to put together, and I think it's beautiful. You could use ribbon instead, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. I got this oval embroidery hoop from the thrift store for 75 cents. And I also got this beautiful sunflower fabric from Dollar Tree. I thought it was just gorgeous. And I thought it would just be really easy to create some wall decor using this hoop and this fabric. So I'm just going to take the inner ring of the embroidery hoop and I'm just going to place it in around on the fabric to figure out what image I want on the inside of my hoop. I really wanted a lot of the sunflowers. Next, I am going to be using my heat press mat, and I'm going to spritz the fabric with water, and then I'm going to iron it out because I wanted to get rid of those fold lines. But I didn't need to iron the whole thing, just the section where I am going to be cutting it out. I figured I didn't want to bother ironing the whole thing because I'm going to be folding it up again and putting it into storage, and well, of course it's going to get wrinkled. I'm placing the top hoop into place, and now I'm just going to trim around this here, and that way here it'll be easier for me to remove any of that excess fabric. So I'm going to tighten up this hoop, but I had to switch it around because I'm right-handed. So, and I can tighten that screw up on the top. And now I'm going to just pull it taut. And then I started off with some scissors, but I wasn't getting all the fabric off evenly. So next I'm just going to use my craft knife here. And with having it flush against the hoop, I am going to cut it off. Now I am using a nice, sharp, fresh blade. I put that scraps aside because I reuse my scraps quite often. Now I'm going to use the raffia again, and I'm going to again just create a simple loopy bow with some tails, and I'm going to just tie that off using some wire. I'm just adding a few extra tails here. I really like that look, especially with the raffia. I don't know, there's just something about it. So now I'm just going to again tie it off with my wire, and then I'm actually going to use just a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to adhere it to the top, and that's it. You can embellish this any way you like. You could add some leaves, that would be really pretty, or some ribbon, but I really like the simplicity of how this turned out. I got this beautiful jug from the thrift store. It was only $2.50. It was originally $23, so I thought this was an excellent deal. I have these wild looking roses. I can't remember where I got them from, but they were so pretty. Some hops and these other yellow flowers. I got these all from Dollar Tree as well. And so I am going to leave the bunches all intact. I'm first going to remove all the labels because they will show in this arrangement that we're going to make. So like I said, I'm leaving all of these intact. So the beauty of doing this is because, again, you can reuse this. But because they are all wired, you can just mix them all together, bend them, and kind of weave them in and out of each other, and you can create a really beautiful bouquet. Now, I did end up having to cut down a couple of the stems because they were standing too tall, but they were still left long enough that I could reuse them for a later project once the fall season is done. So I'm just going to continue to add these bunches together, and again, just bend them into place. And as you can see, these stems were movable as well. So I just pushed some of the leaves up and some of the flowers up just so that they show and they're not hiding. That's what's really nice about something like this. You can just kind of play around, and if you don't like it, it's so easy just to take it apart. It's not like you've cut everything down. Of course, if you want to cut it down, you can, but I wanted the height because I needed the stems to sit in the jug properly, so it didn't look out of proportion. So I'm going to just continue to work with the flowers, bending them around, putting them into place. And now this is something that I really like to do, just to kind of add to this and just really heighten how it looks. So I'm adding some branches that I foraged. So I'm just going to hold the bouquet, and then I'm going to just take the stems and just add them in here and there. It'll create some height, some more interest, and a really beautiful natural element. You don't have to add this, but I love the way this looks with faux flowers. Now I'm going to add some of these leaves. Now, feathers. These feathers are on stems. I have a video for that. I'm going to link that down below for you. But they added some height to this, and again, a natural element and interest. And feathers are great to use for the fall season. I think it's just a beautiful organic look. So I'm going to add a few of those. And then once I get it into the jug, I actually ended up adding some more as needed. You can bend the stems at the bottom as needed so you create a beautiful natural look that'll fit inside of the vase nicely. Let me know your favorite project and if you're going to try any of these. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.